I've been reading Practical Sailor magazine since I was a kid. They have articles that have helped me step by step through my own boat projects. When I Google something that I need to know, if a Practical Sailor article comes up, I know it's going to be exactly what I needed. And then they called me, presumably because I did something wrong. So there I was working away on another Lady K video one day, and boom, an email from the chief editor from Practical Sailor. We need to talk. Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh.
I immediately figured I must have done something wrong. I must have stepped on them somehow, used one of their pictures, or talked about something they didn't like. I don't know, my brain always assumes the worst.
You assume the worst in people.
So I reluctantly agreed to have a phone call with them. The chief editor over there, the guy in charge of everything, explains that they like my pokey little YouTube channel, my words, not theirs, and definitely see us working together. Now, I've heard this before. Lots of companies contact me. It's normal. Usually to review some product that they're selling that they're trying to use to solve a problem that the sailing world doesn't really have.
How do you solve a problem that isn't possible in the first place?
Or they say they want to work together, but they have no idea how. They just want to get in on the YouTube sailing thing, but they can't figure out how to do it. But this call was different. Practical Sailor had a plan. Before we go too far, if my mission here at Lady K Sailing is to get more people sailing more easily, and I love that mission, I stand behind that mission gives me a passion for life that a lot of people notice and say is inspiring, and I like that. Getting more people sailing more easily gets me out of bed in the morning, full of energy and goals. But if that's my mission, then I know Practical Sailor's mission to be getting more people sailing more safely, with good seamanship, top-notch boat projects, and buy, don't buy honesty about sailing products. And I like honesty. These folks have been doing this for decades. This is sailing royalty to me. If I can make sailing easier for even 10 people this year, these guys will do that for 10,000 this month. And that's a big deal. Anyway, I'm fanboying a little bit over here. They called me and said, we're flying you to New York and we're going to sit down and we're going to figure this out. You're what? Another side note, I was talking to someone very close to me a few months back and sharing with him about how I get frustrated about YouTube sometimes. I've never been one to use clickbait bikini girls, and I've always believed that I'll find success on YouTube by just honesty and genuinely trying to help people. And arguably, I have found some success doing that, but not like bikini girl thumbnail success. There's such a strong market for putting a bikini girl in the thumbnail and getting millions of views, but I've never done that. I've never sold out to the way of the boobies. I've also never been hyper negative or insulted other YouTubers to get views either. I run a sort of no gimmicks game over here, and that can suck for views and clicks and all that YouTube algorithmic stuff. I've never found the same success, and I've always just had to be okay with that. And my friend that I was sharing everything with said something wise when I told him all this stuff. He said, maybe you won't get 1 million views from horny old men, but sticking to the good content, you are an authority, someone people trust, a no-nonsense source for information, a real, true, genuine person for sailing. And that'll have its own rewards. So, I'm on a plane to LaGuardia, being a tourist, of course, taking pictures of the New York skyline out the window. The last time I was here, my boat was here. I love New York. They pick me up at the airport, they take me to dinner, good conversation, and then they stick me in a hotel. The next day, it's showtime. Showtime for my nerves, anyway. I meet the team, and we sit in the boardroom, and I have no idea what I'm gonna say. I have no idea how I even got here. I'm just a guy with a camera some sailboats, and an internet connection. By the plane ride home, I was in shock. Luckily, it's 3 hours back to Detroit with nowhere to go, so I had time to process. They hired me as the new editor-in-chief of Practical Sailor. Here's the blurb. These are big shoes to fill, but Practical Sailor's Belvoir Media Group decided a step forward into the digital world would be an important way forward for a publication that's been helping sailors since 1975. With Practical Sailor's new format, you'll get more boat reviews, strong, original, and practical content, video interviews with experts, and immediate access to Practical Sailor's trove of solid ratings and reviews. One thing won't change though. Practical Sailor has always been on a mission to save you time, save you money, and save you from the troubled waters that are sometimes out there. You'll hear more about the new Practical Sailor in the days and weeks ahead. For Lady K Sailing, I'm still going to be making videos every week. Actually, I think the Lady K Sailing videos will get even better. If I knew a lot about boats and the markets and sailing before, this is going to expose me to a lot more. Lady K Sailing will still be mine, totally and completely made by me, but now with more me, or a more experienced me, or something. Practical Sailor, on the other hand, will remain the same amazing resource that it is, but I'll be helping, and I've got big goals. I have a pretty good idea of what you guys want too, and now I'll have a budget and a team and resources. This is going to be really cool. Anyway, I make this video not just to tell you all that stuff happened, but also I'm looking for talented writers. I made a page, ladyksailingcom/writers, where I explain what I'm looking for, and I would love to hear from you. Specifically, right now I'd like an engine expert, particularly Yanmar and Westerbeek, but here's the blurb on the page. I've recently joined a major sailing magazine to help with the digital platform. We're hiring writers, particularly expert-level writers, to create content falling into one of these categories: sailboat reviews, marine electronics, sails, rigging and deck gear, systems and propulsion, boat maintenance, below decks and amenities, personal gear and apparel, destination advice, customs and immigration kind of stuff. To apply, send me a sample article from that page. The article should address a major question sailors have. When you're writing, tell your reader what they need to know, what they need to ask, and what they should do to solve the problem. Imagine you run into a problem in the sailing world with your boat or whatever, perhaps servicing your roller furling, or which storage containers to use in the galley, or how to check into the Bahamas on a 50-footer. You Google the problem, and the first article that comes up on Google perfectly answers your questions. That should be your article. That's it. That's the news. You'll still see me every week on Lady K Sailing, but starting later this year, you'll see a lot more of me in Practical Sailor magazine, the website, and eventually, yes, of course, YouTube. They have a channel from 8 years ago, so we'll probably be starting a new one. I want to get people doing boat tours, video product reviews and demos, interviews with experts, all the stuff you guys have been asking me for. And I have some big ideas and big goals. If you can write and want to make some cash, I hope to hear from you at ladyksailingcom/writers. Until next week, friends, the adventure continues. Keep the heavy side down, but not too far down. I love you guys.